Astronomers see the clear evidence of design in the heavens, but secular astronomers refuse to acknowledge it because of the implications. If it is designed, there is a creator, and this they refuse to acknowledge. The Bible told us to expect to see design in the ordinances of the heavens. Genesis 1, And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven, to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth, and it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. He made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good. In many instances, the Bible proves itself to be a product of supernatural knowledge and power which man could never have produced. Some of these examples are found in relation to astronomy and cosmology. For example, Psalms 19 states, The heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. In them there is no speech nor language where their voice is not heard. Their line is gone out through all the earth, and their words to the end of the world. In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. As with many examples, these passages demonstrate to us that the Bible is a product of supernatural power and knowledge man could never have produced. For example, it tells us that the heavens have a voice, and it extends throughout all of creation. There is, in fact, sound being produced by stars and the planets' background radiation, and it extends throughout the entirety of the universe. Furthermore, it tells us that the sun has its own tabernacle and runs its own race. It was unknown until the 20th century that the sun has its own orbit through space, and is not just standing still. In 1400 plus BC, God queried Job to demonstrate to Job that his knowledge is nothing compared to God Almighty. Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion? Canst thou bring forth Mazzaroth in his season? Or canst thou guide Arcturus with his sons? Knowest thou the ordinances of heaven? Canst thou set the dominion thereof in the earth? Clearly Job did not know, but God did. He created them and placed them in their ordinances. For example, it was unknown until the 20th century that the Pleiades and Orion star clusters play a gravitational tug-of-war. This could not have been known in ancient times, but the Bible knew it, because God created them and placed them in their ordinances. Jeremiah 31:35. Thus saith the Lord, which giveth the sun for a light by day, and the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. The Lord of hosts is his name. And Jeremiah 33:25. Thus saith the Lord, If my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinances of the heaven and earth. Even the planets in our solar system exhibit design. The distance between the earth and the moon was created just so that the moon would create tides on the earth, and agitate the waters of the earth, and oxidate them. The heavens do indeed declare the glory of God. If the earth, moon, and sun were not at the distances from each other that they are, lunar eclipses and solar eclipses as we see them could not exist. We would not see a ring of fire. We would either not see anything, or we would see a black dot on the sun. But this is not so. God has set them in their ordinances at just the right distances. It's claimed by secular astronomers that the solar system formed from an accretion disk, a star that blew up and left its remnant. Have you ever considered what are the odds that the moon, sun, and earth would end up being just the right distances and sizes so that solar eclipses or lunar eclipses could be visible from the earth? The odds that this could happen by happenstance material causes is beyond astronomical, pun intended. It is phenomenal The number of zeros which would exist in such odds is almost unfathomable to the human mind. And yet, this is precisely what we see of them. They are exactly as they are, just the right sizes and distances from each other to make solar and lunar eclipses possible. Now let's witness the solar eclipse which took place on May 20th, 2012, and see how God's creation declares His glory to us. What you're about to see is not something that could come into being by random chance and material causes. It can only be because it was designed. The one who designed it must be supremely powerful, and that person is Jesus Christ.
To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, and a time to die. A time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. A time to kill, and a time to heal. A time to break down, and a time to build up. A time to weep, and a time to laugh. A time to mourn, and a time to dance. A time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to get, and a time to lose. A time to keep, and a time to cast away. A time to rend, and a time to sow. A time to keep silence, and a time to speak. A time to love, and a time to hate. A time of war, and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end.